A young mother goes missing under mysterious circumstances.
She left and then she says she's gonna go either New York or Texas, and then she left, she had the phone and then she destroyed that phone and then she left.
The secrets she shared online reveal a chilling.
She decided she is gonna give him one chance and she's gonna go to family counseling.
What really happened to Mamta?
She really wanted me to come over, and that's something I'm still confused about.
And how far was her husband willing to go to keep her silent?
So I don't want to talk to the media, I don't want to be the bad person, hey, why you talk to the media? I don't. Person.
Welcome to our channel. In today's episode, we uncover the heartbreaking disappearance of Mamta, a mother caught in a web of emotional and financial abuse. If you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, reach out for help immediately. And if you have any information on Mamta's case, please contact local authorities. Every tip can make a difference in bringing justice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed on this and other important cases. Mamta Kafle moved to the United States from Nepal. In 2021, she and her husband Naresh Bhatt settled in Manassas Park, Virginia. They found a cozy home on a quiet cul-de-sac, an ideal spot to begin their family journey. Mamta was a nurse in Nepal, but she can't practice in the United States without a license. So she put her head down and passed the licensing exam and became a registered pediatric nurse at just 28 years old.
Mamta had so many dreams that she's never going to get to realize. She wanted to be a nurse practitioner. She wanted more kids.
By August 2023, Mamta gave birth to their first child, a baby girl. Life with a newborn was exciting but overwhelming for the young couple. Balancing her nursing job at Prince William Medical Center and motherhood was no easy task, but Mamta went back to work in early 2024. Naresh, wanting to lighten the load, asked his parents to move in and help with the baby. However, this didn't sit well with Mamta. Tensions grew between Mamta and Naresh over this arrangement, and soon their marriage hit a rough patch. Mamta eventually moved out, but after a brief separation, she returned home. On August 1st, 2024, things took a worrying turn. Mamta didn't show up for work, and her co-workers couldn't get in touch with her. Concerned, they requested a welfare check at her home. This was the first time police were called to the house. When the officers arrived, Naresh answered the door, holding their young child, and that's where things start to unfold.
Hello, sir. How are you? I'm officer at Manassas Park, please. We're looking for Miss Mamta Kafle.
Yeah, she on Tuesday, Wednesday, she left and then she says she's gonna go either New York or Texas, and then she left, she had the phone and then she destroyed that phone and then she left.
When Naresh opened the door to the police, his reaction was far from what you'd expect. Instead of a simple, "Hello, officers, how can I help you?" he right from the start began rattling off theories about where Mamta could be. He didn't even pause to ask why they were there or what was going on. Naresh began talking about how Mamta could have gone to New York or Texas. He didn't seem concerned, just eager to explain her absence, as if he'd rehearsed it. The police had barely asked any questions, yet Naresh was already providing answers, including odd details like how Mamta supposedly destroyed her phone. His story poured out so quickly that it made you wonder, does any of this actually add up? From the beginning, something about his version of events felt off.
So she destroyed the phone and she left. She said she was going to New York.
Yeah, her sister, one of her sister.
Okay.
One of the first red flags, Mamta doesn't even drive and she doesn't have a car. So how would she get anywhere, especially without a phone? And then there's the part about her sister. Naresh mentioned her, but Mamta doesn't have any blood relatives in the US. The more he talked, the less his story made sense.
Do you have any other contact information?
Yeah, she has a different three phones. I do have two phone numbers. One phone number, somebody other receiving, one another contact number for the New York I do have.
Okay, can you show me that? Please? Can you hand me that info?
Can we get those phone numbers from you?
Yeah, we just want to see if she's okay because we have an employer calling.
Hi.
Since Mamta had destroyed her phone, there was no way for her employer or the police to contact her directly. Naresh mentioned that one of Mamta's phones was broken and another one wasn't in use. But he did have a phone number from New York, and that grabbed the officers' attention. They hoped this could be the lead they needed to track her down.
Did she say why she left?
Yeah, because we are about to separate, and then the home inspection come here. I'm about to sell the home, so she wanna say okay, I wanna go with my sisters, and then she used to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Mamta was a new mom, completely dedicated to her baby girl. That baby was her whole world.
On July 28th, she posted this video of her daughter.
So, when she suddenly disappeared, leaving her baby behind, it raised some serious flags. Another big red flag was Naresh's behavior. He had all kinds of explanations for her absence. Mamta had left before during rough patches, but this situation felt different. Looking back, it seems obvious something was off. But the real question is, why didn't the police dig deeper from the start?
Okay.
And then sometimes I don't know where, you can come inside or I can come outside.
Up to you, sir. Yeah.
This was the perfect moment for the police to ask some more questions. Naresh even offered them to enter the house, but they didn't. It's a basic follow-up they should have done, but they didn't.
And she used to live in a falls church. I don't know the exact address. I know the building because I see noticed there because I saw her email, and then one place over there, and then I don't know somewhere in Manassas because on the 8th I think on the 8th she started a job.
Last month?
No. Yeah, last month. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. On the 8th, so I'm not working since that. She say she gonna be stay there, and then once she gonna be everything settled down, she will take the baby. She not gonna leave the baby with me. That's what she said. I know the building in Falls Church where she was. Still, she's living over there or Texas because I already conversation with her sister. She just did not reply me, and then she was asking me, and then her mom is also asking for me. I don't know where is she.
Okay. So if you could give us the phone numbers, please. We want to see if we can make contact with her.
This is not the first time. Multiple times she go and then come back in a few days.
Okay.
I don't have the phone number for her sister. Usually I have a Facebook, but I don't have her phone number.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. So that's what I replied 2/4/23. Usually she works Thursday to Saturday. She works there, and then it's not first time she disappear and then come back. I live with my parents over there. She say okay, I'm not gonna live with your parents. My parents left back home, and then still a lot of she going. She got the green card already, and then she was about to yeah.
Naresh implied that he and Mamta were having relationship problems, and she had simply left town, something he claimed she'd done before. His message was clear: I'm not worried, so why should you be? To grasp what might have been going on between Naresh and Mamta, you have to consider their cultural background. Naresh was well established in the U.S., working as a government contractor for the White House and serving in the Army Reserves. Though he had become a U.S. citizen, his roots were still tied to Nepal. When it was time for him to marry, Naresh chose to marry someone from Nepal, which is how his arranged marriage with Mamta came about. She moved to the U.S. on a spouse visa, which immediately put her in a dependent position. In the beginning, Naresh held a lot of power over Mamta. As the one with U.S. citizenship, he could end her American dream at any moment by ending the relationship, potentially forcing her to return to Nepal. Naresh was a controlling husband. When Mamta first came to the U.S., Naresh barely let her leave the house. She could go to school or work, but after that, she was required to come straight home. At first, Mamta's friends thought this was because Naresh was just being protective. They assumed he was nervous about her being in a new country and wanted to make sure she was safe. However, as time went on, Naresh's behavior became more concerning. He would yell at Mamta if she left the house for even 5 minutes and would lash out at her friends if they tried to take her out. When Mamta did go out with friends, he always insisted that she be back within 30 minutes. Whenever this happened, Mamta would brush it off, telling her friends that he was just worried and that everything was fine. She'd explained that he loved her and was just looking out for her. But then there were days when Mamta would come to work with bruises. But after 4 years of marriage, things had changed. Mamta had become a registered nurse, earning her own money, and was no longer financially dependent on Naresh. To top it all off, she now had her green card, giving her a new level of independence and security.
When she got the green card already, and then she was about to, yeah.
Okay.
As soon as Mamta became financially independent and secured her green card, the power dynamics in their relationship shifted. Naresh was no longer the sole breadwinner, and Mamta's future in America no longer depended on him. With this new sense of independence, Mamta began to demand equal status in their marriage, which led to growing marital issues between them. Naresh didn't take this shift well. He grew bitter about how their relationship had changed. When Mamta left, he didn't seem the least bit concerned. In his eyes, she had taken advantage of him. He likely believed that Mamta only married him for a green card, and now that she had it, she didn't need him anymore.
Okay. When she left, was she, did you say anything about hurting herself or anything concerning?
No, because, if it's the first time, then, I can say, oh, okay, where are you going, this and that. This is multiple times. I don't know, who we call you, but, sometimes she came back, and then most of the her stuff, regular stuff. Mm-hmm. She already, I think, in March, she already take regular stuff, regular wearing, regular shoes. This is her shoes even, But okay. The regular things, she already take it. But, the normal thing, fancy wear, like a suits, special wear, still we have here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I get your phone number, sir?
Yeah.
And do
703.
you have ID on you?
Yeah.
Okay. Just get that. Yeah, we'll get all that once.
Once the officers realized Mamta wasn't home and didn't have a working phone number, they asked Naresh for his contact information and ID. Naresh went back inside to get them.
So we don't have contact. I mean, what I'm thinking is if maybe get his info and could tell us to give us a call if she comes back.
Get his info. Sounds like they're going through a divorce, so she decided to go to New York with her sister. If she just comes back, he can give you a call. And I think it was her job who called, just called him, let them know that, hey, spoke to your husband. It appears they're going through a divorce, and she left and went to New York.
And then she is not at the work.
Her employer called and asking just called us to check if she was okay. So that's why we're here. We don't mean to bother you.
No, that's fine. She's supposed to be there. Usually, like, I don't know, I cannot check, like, where she goes.
Okay.
It seemed like one of the officers might have been in training. He kept bouncing ideas off the first officer, which means this was a field training officer situation. At this point, Naresh had mentioned having 3 phone numbers, but then quickly backtracked and said he didn't actually have them. This would have been a good moment for the officers to dig a little deeper. Another red flag that stood out? Mamta's shoes were still sitting on the porch, and Naresh made a point of pointing that out. It felt like there were several missed opportunities here to ask the right questions and take the investigation further. When Naresh reached into his wallet, he took out 2 identification cards.
Okay, thank you. It's all right.
Military?
Yeah.
What branch?
Army.
Army.
Now, that raises an important question. Who did the second ID belong to? If one of those IDs was Mamta's, it brings up another issue. Why would she leave without it? Especially if she was supposedly going far away, like New York or Texas. Naresh then brought up a past incident, recalling a time when Mamta had stormed off in a similar fashion, leaving behind their 5-month-old baby girl.
Even like she was 5 months, she left for like 2 weeks. We never know. And then one of friend tell me like somewhere in Falchurch, and then after that, at that time, she had a laptop over here. In my laptop, her email was on, and then I see Uber was there. She did the Uber, and then I went to the nearby the building, and then I saw her, like at the building, because I wait for her like work time. I see her there, and then same thing happens again another time, right here in the Bright Street, right? She said like at that time we had a conversation. She said like I'm in a Fairfax, but like I just guessed maybe like she is there, and then I just wait for a few hours over there. At that time my parents was here, so I can go there, and then I see she's just stepping out from her one of my friend, both both of us friends, and then she just step out, and then I went inside. Why are you lying? If you want to go, just go. If you don't want to go, but I don't want to stay with you. That's what I said.
Naresh kept insisting that he wasn't worried when Mamta left back then, and his indifference was just as strong as now. The officer advised him to report her missing if she didn't return.
Okay, if she does return home, just give us a call.
Okay, if she didn't return home, let's say she's supposed to be returned home by Sunday or Saturday, because she worked Thursday to Saturday. Sometimes she doesn't come over here because last time it was like few weeks ago.
Okay.
I have also worked. If I left, she has to take care of the baby. If she left, I have to take care of the baby. That's why she decided okay, when I'm working, I'm not gonna come home. If she doesn't come, so I have to file a complaint, or what I supposed to do? She lost, maybe she say last time, even she returned down, and then she say okay, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna disappear for 6 months, make a different address, and then after that, we will separate this and that. So I don't know, I'm kind of.
Okay, well, if she does end up missing, just call us back. Again, it'll be a good idea to contact people that that knows her, all right, to make sure she's not actually missing. But if that does happen, just give us a call.
And another thing, she has some mental issue as well. She the nurse problem is there, because if I say something, who is the nurse, who know more? I say you know more. I say a lot of stuff. I told her multiple times, let's go to the psychiatrist. Do something. She said oh, I'm okay. I know my stuff. I'm a registered nurse.
Okay.
A lot of stuff, man. This is problem, man.
I hear you, sir. I understand it could be complicated, but here's your ID back.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give her employer a call back to see to let her know what we spoke about today. Okay.
All right.
And again, just give us a call. Well, you have my number. You can shoot me a text if you want. Just give me. Let me know if she comes back.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Until Sunday, I don't think so.
Was that?
Until Sunday, I don't think so.
Until
Last
Sunday?
time in March, she disappeared for a week or something. After that, I figured that out because of the email, and then she said like I was in the parking lot, and then she said like I'll meet you at the hospital, and then I meet her at the hospital. I say like I know where you're living at, but I don't know like which building or which floor, which big building. So hopefully she will be back by Sunday. If not,
you're talking about this after tomorrow? Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah, this Sunday because she worked like maybe Saturday night because she worked like because she's not at work now.
Right.
Because before this 8th, she used to work at another hospital. And then maybe she applied somewhere else and then trying to do that one as well. I need to figure that out, Right. Because she used to work at the Ainova hospital and then she switched over there. And if she want to try to move somewhere, if she applied somewhere, I don't know how to figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll give the employer a call and just read
either New York, either
okay?
Texas.
What? You said Texas?
Either New York, either Texas.
Oh, either New York or Texas. All right, sir. Thank you so much, okay? All right.
After the officer left, Naresh never called back, and Mamta never came home. It wasn't until August 5th, 2024, that he finally reported her missing. In the following days, investigators ramped up the urgency of the case, shifting Mamta's status from missing to critical missing person. They confirmed that she hadn't spoken to friends, family, or co-workers, either in person or on social media, since her disappearance. On August 14th, Naresh spoke with local media, saying his wife had gone missing 3 times before this.
At that time, she has a demand because our parents were here, and then she said, she want to send parents back.
He expressed that he missed her and was waiting for her safe return home.
I really do believe that Mamta is out there.
The very next day, Manassas Park police reached out to the public for help, asking anyone with information to come forward.
To this point in the investigation, our investigators have executed over 10 search warrants and conducted hundreds of interviews related to this case.
Then, on August 21st, police searched the couple's home. Things took a serious turn on August 22nd when Naresh was led away from their home in handcuffs. The next day, he faced arraignment on charges of prohibition against concealment of a body.
He hasn't been charged with murder, but rather concealing a body.
A judge ordered him to be held without bond.
This is an ongoing investigation.
Is she alive?
Is she alive or dead? We don't know.
So, you might be wondering what exactly led to his arrest. When the police raided the house with a search warrant, they found 2 suitcases packed with clothes in the master bedroom, suggesting Naresh was preparing to leave. There were also empty hangars, which looked like packing was in progress. Naresh's and his daughter's passports were discovered lying out in the open when the search team entered the home. Then there were the knives. Naresh was seen at Walmart on July 30th, where he bought a pack of 3 knives. But when investigators executed the search warrant, they only found 1. So, where did the other 2 knives go? The very next day, on July 31st, Naresh returned to Walmart, this time buying cleaning supplies. Those supplies were recovered almost empty when police executed the search warrants. Buying knives and cleaning supplies feels like more than just a coincidence. There's surveillance footage of him at Walmart purchasing those cleaning products right after buying 3 knives the day before. How often do you buy 3 knives or go out to get cleaning supplies? It's not something people do every day. So far, we've mainly focused on circumstantial evidence, like Naresh lying about Mamta visiting relatives or buying knives and cleaning supplies. But the physical evidence from the house, where the alleged crime happened, was staggering. Prosecutors disclosed a shocking volume of evidence, including signs of dragging. The blood was so abundant that when investigators conducted Blue Star testing, the entire bathtub lit up. They even removed the master bathroom tub and found evidence of blood seeping behind the caulking. This pointed to something horrific occurring in that residence. Despite the grim discoveries at the home, the timeline provided by the Commonwealth attorneys was equally alarming. They claimed the attack occurred on July 30th, which didn't align with what Naresh had told the police. Records showed that on June 30th, Naresh was seen in Loudoun County, quite a distance from where they lived. Mamta's phone last registered activity was also on June 30th, reinforcing the belief that the incident likely happened around that time. As of now, Mamta's body hasn't been found, and to charge Naresh with murder, one crucial piece of evidence was still missing: the body. That's why currently he is only charged with concealment of body and not murder. Investigators presume Mamta is dead, but without her body, it complicates the case. Circumstantial murder cases can be successfully prosecuted without a body, but they are challenging, and many prosecutors are hesitant to take them on. Also, juries must be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. Therefore, it's crucial to build a solid case, proving that Mamta is no longer alive and that Naresh played a role in her disappearance. Finding a body would be crucial. If they can't locate Mamta, prosecutors face a tough choice. If Naresh walks free, he might just try to flee the country. He's given every indication that he could be planning to board a plane and leave. But if they find a body, It's likely that a murder charge will follow shortly after. A lot of Naresh's actions surrounding his wife's disappearance raise red flags.
No, I don't want to talk to the media. Like, I don't want to be the bad person. Like, hey, why you talk to the media?
I don't think it would be bad just to say.
Mamta's friends reported last speaking to Mamta around July 27th or 28th, but Naresh claimed he saw her for the last time on July 31st.
When was the last time you saw her?
A Wednesday in the evening.
According to Naresh, they had dinner together. They ate watercress, which they picked from the nearby lake. This was concerning, especially since her co-workers called for a wellness check on August 1st, when she didn't show up for work. Naresh didn't report her missing until August 5th, creating a suspicious time lapse. The investigation will focus on his whereabouts during that period. Did he go to work? What does his cell phone data show? Investigators will look at everything: video footage, credit card transactions, and more. They'll scrutinize his movements and activities from July 26th to August 5th. All of this will eventually come to light, and it takes time, but they will narrow down where he was and when. Every detail counts in putting together this puzzle. They lived in a beautiful house located in a quiet cul-de-sac. The neighborhood is surrounded by trees and other homes, giving it a typical suburban feel. Also, there's a lot of woods and several bodies of water. In Virginia, there are plenty of places where someone could hide a body. Law enforcement and community members have conducted searches in various locations. They've focused on wooded areas in the neighborhood and nearby parks.
Crews are searching an area of Signal Hill Park for evidence related to this investigation.
Unfortunately, the recent court hearings suggest that Mamta isn't in those woods. It's alleged that Naresh disposed of her in dumpsters across the three-county area, including Fairfax, Falls Church, Loudoun County, and Manassas. Sadly, it appears she was discarded like trash, and that's a harsh reality to face. Now, let's talk about those dumpsters. Naresh reportedly dropped several bags in dumpsters around the time Mamta was last seen. Searching landfills is no easy task. The good news is that waste management companies have set schedules for when they dump trash, so investigators can target specific sections of the landfill. They need to figure out the dumping schedules and the locations where trucks emptied their loads. Then, they'll have to organize a team to sift through all that garbage. Regarding Mamta's missing cell phone, prosecutors revealed that it was still receiving data on July 29th, but not after that date. The last known location of her phone was in Loudoun County. Naresh claimed he was at a cafe nearby when her phone last pinged. If we look at the map, we can see the relationship between their house and Loudoun County. Manassas is about 3 miles from their home, but traveling to Loudoun County typically takes 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. This wasn't a casual trip for Naresh. It was intentional. It suggests he was spreading evidence across different areas, trying to conceal whatever happened in their house. July 29th was the last time Mamta's cell phone received data, and with its location known, investigators should have ample opportunities to gather surveillance footage. In such a populated area, there are likely numerous sources of video evidence. There's a good chance they can trace Naresh's movements and gather a significant digital footprint that could shed light on his actions around the time of Mamta's disappearance. The reality is that the government could charge Naresh with murder right now, but they don't need to rush. There's still a lot to uncover. Investigators are executing search warrants and gathering data from phones, probably even his Tesla. Building a strong case takes time, and rushing could jeopardize everything. They can always supersede the indictment later, adding the murder charge when they have a solid foundation. For now, Naresh is in jail, so he can't flee or destroy more evidence. The defense is pushing for a speedy trial in all of this. They're aware that if the prosecution doesn't move forward with murder charges, they could potentially try Naresh for concealing a body and add murder charges later. But that could lead to double jeopardy issues. The defense's strategy seems to be to rush the process because they want to avoid additional charges. They can see the evidence piling up against Naresh and know the risks involved. There are also discrepancies in Naresh's account to the police. He first claimed that Mamta was visiting relatives in Florida or New York, but she doesn't have relatives in either state. Another alarming claim is that Mamta destroyed her phone and that he doesn't know where it is. However, investigators managed to recover some data from her phone, contradicting his story. This misinformation is damaging for him. There are other concerning pieces of evidence that seem to have been altered or destroyed. Naresh sold his blue Tesla to CarMax just days after his wife went missing, and even put their house up for sale. These actions raise even more red flags. Investigators will likely track down the car and obtain a search warrant to comb through it meticulously. That vehicle could hold crucial information, anything from electronics data to its travel history. He didn't commit these acts on foot, so the car might be a treasure trove of evidence. If it doesn't yield anything, it could indicate he used another vehicle or cleaned it extensively, which would also be telling. Authorities are also looking for anything from blood to hair or other DNA evidence that could suggest Mamta was transported in that Tesla. With Tesla's technology, they can trace the car's movements over the past 30 days, especially during the time Mamta went missing. Unless somehow he disarmed the car's tracking devices, investigators could track his movements. They can see how fast he was going, where he stopped, and what routes he took. This is crucial. If this was the vehicle used to transport her remains, any blood or other evidence could be significant. He probably cleaned the car before selling it, and CarMax likely cleaned it too. But they might still uncover something. Now, let's look at some of the digital evidence, specifically Naresh's internet search history. Prosecutors allege that as early as April 2024, he was using his work computer to search questions like, how long does it take to get married after a spouse dies? And what happens to debt after a spouse dies? Does that sound compelling to you? If these searches were made in April, that certainly sheds light on his state of mind. It raises questions about whether this was a premeditated act, which is critical for the murder charge. If we can connect these Google searches with electronic evidence and potentially find Mamta's body, it could help build a stronger case. It also helps explain to the jury what might have happened between them and offers some closure for Mamta's family. Nobody just decides to buy 3 knives and cleaning supplies to kill their spouse without a reason. Problems in their relationship must have existed, and someone around them probably knew something was off. The investigators were hoping that someone would come forward and provide a testimony. Mamta was a nurse at the University of Virginia Medical Center, so she had colleagues who might have been aware of her situation. Fortunately, after the public outcry when the case went public, many came forward. Navarro was one of the last persons in contact with Mamta on 28 August. Navarro received several missed calls from Mamta, and they messaged each other after that. Navarro sensed something was wrong.
He really wanted me to come over, and that's something I'm still confused about.
Also to come forward was Mamta's mentor and Nepali colleague, Sunita Basnet. Sunita spoke up, confirming there were signs that things were bad at home.
She was the person, she would never and ever runs away from her child or even from a family.
Mamta was a victim of domestic mistreatment. At first, she tried to hide it, but after 2 months, she finally confided in Sunita. One day, Mamta came to work in tears, and Sunita immediately recognized the pain in her eyes. Mamta was like a sister to her, and it was clear something was deeply wrong.
But she decided she is gonna give him one chance, and she's gonna go to family counseling.
But Sunita remained worried. She kept a close watch, looking for any signs that Mamta was in trouble. It was evident that Mamta was scared, caught in a difficult situation. Sunita wished she could record their conversations to have proof of the mistreatment, yet she also wanted to support Mamta and let her know she was not alone. There were moments when Mamta appeared hopeful, even happy, and Sunita recalled a conversation where Mamta sounded okay. Still, she knew that beneath the surface, Mamta was struggling. Sunita mentioned that she had been in contact with Mamta's mother and cousins, who were devastated. They were unaware of Mamta's situation, and the uncertainty was tearing them apart.
July was the last time her mother, she used to...
An emergency visa has been granted to Mamta's mother to travel to the U.S. When news of Mamta's disappearance started to spread, some of her posts from a private Facebook group surfaced. This group was specifically for separated, divorced, and single moms in Virginia. Mamta had made several posts there, and one from February 16, 2024 stood out. She wrote, "Hi, I have a 6-month-old baby and I'm in the process of separating. I work 2 days a week and my husband isn't helping with the baby. He says if I leave the baby with him, he'll send the child to custody. Is that possible? I need help with childcare and I need help from social workers. Any advice?" In another post, she mentioned struggling financially. "How do I file? We're still living together and I don't have any money. He withdrew everything from the joint account." In several posts, she claimed Naresh would take all her earnings, leaving her with nothing and making it impossible for her to leave. Her cries for help went unnoticed for far too long. Behind closed doors, she faced isolation, fear, and manipulation. Her story is not just about what happened to her, it's about the countless others who suffer in silence, trapped in toxic relationships. Justice for Mamta means justice for all those who feel voiceless. Thank you for watching our channel. If you found Mamta's story compelling, please help spread awareness by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel. Remember, every share brings us closer to justice for victims like Mamta.